be in the know, just know what to show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's tailored to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's tailored to you. All in the queue, just check out the view. All in the queue. To show, to know what to do, just jump in the queue, it's all up to you. So what you gonna do? All in the queue, it's all up to you. All in the queue, it's check out the view. All in the queue.
One thing for sure and two things for certain is I'm never gonna hear you out if what I'm hearing is stupid. I'm not going to hear that. I'm not going to receive that. That's not my ministry. A lot of y'all sit and give too much of y'all time and effort to people who don't deserve it. Why would you be listening to somebody telling you that 2 + 2 is 92 when you know it's not? That is a waste of my time. It's not of the kingdom. It's not. And I would not subject myself to foolishness, okay? Because I don't like to consider myself to be foolish. So I don't want to sit with it. No, it ain't nothing we can do. We done talking. I'm done talking. I'm done listening as well. Yeah, so I don't know who needs to hear that. I hope it reaches you and I hope it touches your spirit. Stop entertaining foolishness. Because people will start seeing you as foolish or somebody to be played with. And I don't like to be played with. Go play Atari. Go play some spades. But don't play with me. All right, love you. Bye. One thing.
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Super. It's 2026. Happy New Year to all of you, to everyone that is under the sound of my voice or that will be under the sound of my voice on the replay. Thank you for tuning in to All in the Queue and Super Producer. It is a new year, so we're going to be bringing you some more content. We're gonna mix up some content. I get a few updates on some people that I had on this platform. Maybe we'll start with that. And let me speak to everyone that has come into this room. If you're under the sound of my voice, and come on in the comments and say what's up to your girl. We about to get back to business. I had a great new year. I'm grateful to be here in 2026. Can't say that everybody made it to 2026, so I'm grateful that I'm here and that my family all made it into 2026 and everybody's healthy, happy, and excelling. I hope the same for you and your family as well. I hope that you all brought the new year in safely and with your family and loving on your family. You know, a couple of things about this year as I reflected on last year. Last year was extremely challenging for me in a lot of departments, in the bullying department. That's probably just the only department that was challenging for me, other than just trying to manage my children while trying to do content and, everything else, take care of myself. Going forward on this channel, I am still going to be bringing you topics such as this, meetings, information. We're also going to be talking about other things. I'm going to bring you other content with other people, so that you all can see that side of me as well, but also learn a little bit about the South suburbs and where I live, and just about the state of Illinois, period. All the things that we are connected to that made this my place of choice as far as to live. at least for the moment. Um, some other things that will be changing, on this channel, will be that, you may see me changing the way I address people and the way I address things. One of the things about 2025 is I felt that people felt they could play with me, or they felt that I was naive, or they felt that I was stupid when I really was just extending them grace. Well, grace period for me is over. In 2026, I'm going to deal with you accordingly. Because I feel at this juncture that's what's needed. Is that the person that I want to be? No. Me, I'm a, Christian, fun loving person. I love to laugh, and all of those things. But, sometimes you cannot do that with everyone. I'm no longer really caring what other people have to say about me. I never really did, in the first place. Those things bother me. If you are a person of faith, those things should bother you. It should bother you how people view you and what people say about you. But, for me now, from now on, because I've become a content creator, I've had to understand that people are just malicious and evil by nature. So I'm not really going to pay any mind to people talking negatively about me, or, trying to bully me, because I no longer care, because I understand my purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to be focused on doing that. And I'm going to do that no matter what anybody else says. So, other people just need to leave me alone, stay in your lane. I'm going to stay in my lane. You don't say my name, I ain't going to say your name. But the minute you say my name, we coming out. Because the nice way ain't been working. So there you have it. And I want to, let me get in here and see who's in here and greet everybody. Let me see what I'm doing here. Hey, Bobo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Love your new look. Your wrench is great. Hey, Jim C. Ernesto, what's up? Hey, Miss Charlie, how you doing? Hey, nope, not even. How you doing? Good to see you. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to you all. If you are not in my private community, you should be. Take the time to join. There's loads of information over there, things that you did not know, things that were not released on my public platform. That's a very informative space. I kind of give them information that I don't give to the public. Right now, we are doing the deposition of John Kasperick, from the CPA firm that's in every South suburban suburb. In whatever suburb he's in, he's either behind on audits, or allegedly he is helping the mayors cover up their spending or whatever and what have you. We do know currently that he is in Harvey, he is in Dolton, he is in Thornton, he is in Calumet City, he is in University Park. I believe that he may be even in Riverdale, and possibly Dixmoor. It is astounding to me with the number of accounting CPA firms that this person is the only person that people seem to be choosing. My question is why? I did a video about this person in my private community, and I also have a public video about them as well. You would have to go back a year back on my channel, and there's a video there about him as well. Okay, no problem, Bobo. I want to say thank you to all of my mods that are still on this channel or come and visit this channel. I do appreciate you. I know that your time is precious and you have families as well. So thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to stop in and help create a great environment for all of our viewers. Today we're going to talk about the Dolton meeting. I found the Dolton meeting. I was not able to be there yesterday because I've had some personal things going on in my life that I've had to attend to, and that I'm still attending to. So I'm attending to those things. Hey, Alley Cat, how are you? So I'm attending to those things. Let's get to let's talk about the meetings. Since I was not able to attend because my intention was to attend their first meeting of the year, but I had to take care of some personal business. That aside, their first meeting occurred yesterday. I don't know, for those of you that were on the YouTube, the Village's YouTube page, did you experience what I experienced? I was watching the meeting and then all of a sudden the meeting got deleted or the video became private. I'm not sure which one happened, which thing happened. But it's not on the um Village YouTube page as of this moment. If you go to the YouTube page, you will, however, see it say regular board meeting January 5th, and it's about 45 minutes long. However, that was not the meeting. That was after that was the executive session. After the executive session came back, and there is no sound. So, I don't necessarily know what happened to the board meeting on the YouTube channel, but while we were watching it, it got taken down. It is, however, the full meeting is, however, on their Facebook page that appeared today. I'm not sure around what time. I think sometime this morning, the meeting appeared this morning on the Facebook page, but not on the YouTube page. So I'm going to show the meeting, a portion of the meeting today. We're going to start our recap of the meeting today. We'll get into some updates after we listen to public comment and kind of what happened in the meeting, and we'll talk about some of the public comments on the meetings. If you are watching a replay, or even if you're watching this particular live right now, if you have any suggestions that you would like to give, or any topics you would like for me to cover, any places you would like for me to cover, this year we're going to be covering meetings, we're going to be covering events, but we also are going to be doing audits of some of these websites, because I want to show you how some of these websites, they appear to be transparent, but they are not really transparent. So when I say that, I mean you can click on something and it say meeting minutes, and you click on it and it's the agenda and not the minutes, but it's labeled meeting minutes. That's typically how they're getting around this transparency thing. Where are the minutes though? There's other things, on some of these municipality websites are behind on posting their minute meetings. They're behind on posting their budgets, their audits. We're going to take a look at some of those things. We're also going to take a look at how difficult some of these municipalities make it to navigate their websites, to find the FOI area of their websites. Some areas do not even have a FOI area. I went to one website that I needed to place a FOI for. There was not a visible. I even put FOI in a search and nothing came up. But when I emailed the clerk, then all of a sudden she sends me back a link. Why are they making these websites so difficult to navigate? We're going to look at some of those, things, because maybe you want to have some changes made to your municipality. Send a letter to the clerk, go to your meeting and make a comment about how difficult the website is to navigate. We need to start addressing some of these things on the local level as well. We also have candidates to research and look up. Here in Illinois, we have a primary coming up in March the 17th. And so we need to look at the candidates that we have to choose from and look at their resumes and all of those things we need to talk about, just so you can be informed on who the candidates are. I know that this is not an exciting channel. This is not a channel that keeps up drama, beef. We don't have no juicy details of people's business on this channel. And because of that, this channel is not being supported um, as much as other channels. And that's fine as long as you're aware that I will be on this channel when I can be on this channel. Because other than that, I'm going to be out here chasing some money. Because if this channel does not generate money, so I just want you to be aware of that. But I will make sure that I keep up with my members only. Like I said, we will do tomorrow early afternoon. We will do a couple of more pages of the deposition and talk about that. I have some content coming up for Harvey. I have some content coming up for Thornton Township. I have some content coming up for Tinley Park. I also have a special segment that I'm going to start outside of the Black authors. I'm going to start a Super Sisters Eats. So I'm going to go around with a few friends. We are going to show you all some popular restaurants in our area, and we're going to review them. We're going to basically be showing you a lot of the things that we are blessed to have in this area, in the south suburbs: museums, restaurants, events, those types of things. Because I want to show you a little bit of who I am outside of this political content. I'm a real person, and I love to have fun and enjoy myself. So I'll be bringing that content to you. If you all remember Roger Cook, that was on this platform, the Black author that I brought on, he wrote Parallel Rooms. He released another book. And so we're going to be having him back. If you all remember Seneca Chase, she came on, was the young lady who lost her daughter to gun violence at a club. Her life was taken by a young man at the club. And she has started writing her second book called The Evolution of Seneca Chase, which is something that I suggested to her. And I'm so glad that she is, because she is a wonderful person and a wonderful mom and just a wonderful spirit. And we are going to have some more authors. Hopefully, Nope Not Even is open to coming on the platform. She has a book that I would like to highlight, and you all need to purchase as well. She has a story too. So we're going to have her on the platform, talk about her book, talk about her experiences, get some advice on grief and how to handle it. And so I hope that she agrees to come on and talk about her book. So now let's get into this meeting recap. Let's see here. You working on your second one? Nope, not even. That's what I like to hear, because that's just we transitioning, right? I love to hear that. Love to hear that. And if you all have any Black authors that you would like to recommend to come on this platform, just send me an email, or you can leave a suggestion on one of the videos. I do answer all of my emails, and I do answer all or most of the comments that I left on my videos. Keep in mind, if you come on this platform with the shits, I'm going to be with the shits back. I just want you to keep that in mind. Because this platform is not generating thousands of dollars, you're going to get what you give. Not that I would do anything different if it did. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. All right, let's see. Here we go. Let me go back to the beginning. All right, so we're gonna start. We're gonna go past the prayer because I love Minister White. She's a great person. She got elevated to elder, I believe, but I ain't here for it today. All right, let's start with the public comment.
You guys know what happened last night on Sibley and Evers?
Sibley and Evers?
Yes.
Yes. You're saying the police incident?
No.
Oh, then I'm not.
Somebody got hit, got killed. Arm got knocked off.
Oh, yes.
And now, this is what I'm coming about. 3 administrations, including this one, nothing against any one of you guys. 3 administrations, personally, I know 9 people that have got hit and or killed crossing the same spot on Sibley and from, not Woodlawn, from Cottage Grove, from the school, all the way to Chicago Road, which is not Cane Drive. There's no light. These people come flying down this road 100 miles an hour, and they running over people. Last night, someone else got hit. This person that got killed last night, I don't know. But now, including me, I got hit in my elbow, but that's minor. It's a terrible thing, and it's been going on for a long time. I talked to the prior mayor and the mayor before that about this, and nothing has happened. And I think it's a very easy thing to do. If you put a light on Irvin, east and west, it'll stop that traffic from flowing so fast. And you got the school right there. These kids, they can only cross the street on Cottage Grove and yeah, and that's a long way to walk. And you got these cars flying so fast, bro. And I think it's an easy fix, just to put a light, right there, just to slow the cars down and time them right, so the cars can still flow. You know what I'm saying?
Received. Yeah, that message definitely received. We'll do a follow with the administrator and our chief.
All right.
That Sibley is a busy road. I think that road needed to be looked at. He said he's talked to 3 mayors. Mayor House would be the 3rd one. And I don't know if they actually gonna do anything because you see a lot of people just say noted, yeah, okay, yeah, we got it. They have been a little preoccupied, to me, this is my opinion, with purchasing things surrounding the Pope's home. $375,000 could have put up a whole bunch of stoplights and fixed a whole bunch of potholes, and just did a lot for the flow of traffic, and making it safe, as far as public safety. I don't know how safe the Pope's house is making people. That's a relative thing. No knock to people who, I don't know what you do, pray to the Pope or whatever that is that you do, but that money could have been utilized to do traffic studies and make sure that every place in Dolton is safe, with lights, stop signs, like I said, potholes filled, or not even filled. That could have repaved some streets, as well, instead of waiting on infrastructure money to be awarded from Cook County. And that's just my opinion. Let me see. I'm right at the intersection. I didn't know someone was recently killed there. Yeah, he said Saturday. I think it was Saturday he said that happened. But that's my opinion about utilization of funds is very I think important when you are coming from a community that is financially distressed, or at least stressed. And everything. The dark streets and potholes are downright ridiculous. I've been complaining about my block for years. They all make the same empty promises. I mean, I think there were several comments made about not purchasing the Pope's home. That was not a priority. I'm not even sure because they tell you to FOID things. I FOID something in July and didn't get my FOID answered until November. you can, at this point, you can't even afford to find out if the Pope's house has even actually made any type of revenue for the village, which I would venture to say that it hasn't yet made any notable, financial progress for the village. Yet $375,000 could have paved a lot of streets, put up a stoplight, or a crosswalk, or something of that nature, for public safety.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Angela Russell, Dolton resident and mental health specialist with Envision Unlimited. Just wanted to let you know that hopefully we'll be resuming our time here at the Dolton Resource Hub to provide free mental health education and workshops. One of the things I wanted to highlight today is our training for mental health first aid. It's a certification course you can take with Envision Unlimited trained instructors through the National Council on Mental Wellbeing. It teaches people to be mental health first aiders. Just like we have CPR for our physical health, this is kind of a CPR for mental health. It teaches the basic of mental health and mental illness, how to be aware if someone may be in mental health distress. It talks specifically about things related to depression, anxiety, psychosis disorder, as well as substance abuse disorders. It doesn't teach you to be a mental health professional or certification as a therapist. It's basic, simple mental health first aid and wellness on how to help someone who may be in distress and how to help them get supports. Once you complete the certification, you'll have a 3-year certification as a mental health first aider. And if you're eligible, you can get 7.5 CEUs, which you can use for continuing education credits. For clergy and faith leaders, this training is free. For all others, the training is $30. It has a value of over $200. And this is something our agency is offering at this time for very minimal costs. And the cost that you're paying is simply for the workbooks that you will receive the day of the training. And again, this is through the National Council on Mental Wellbeing. It's an international program that is known throughout the United States and abroad. So if anyone is interested in this training, you can give me a call or send me a text. My number is 773-580-2394. And my email address is arussell, RUSSELL, at envisionunlimited.org. We have 2 trainings in January. One is January 24th in Tinley Park. Another is January 30th in Flossmoor, Illinois, at Flossmoor Community Church. And we also have other trainings coming up too, if you can't make those. And again, this training is free for clergy and faith leaders, and for all others, it's $30. You get a certification with a certificate, as well as CEUs. We'll also be talking about other trainings we'll have coming up that are completely free for all residents who want to attend. Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you.
Thank you, Ms. Russell.
May I say, Ms. Russell, anybody that's a resident of the Village of Dolton, if they're interested, the first 10 people I will sponsor.
Okay, did you all hear that?
Say it again. That sounds like some free money. What was that? Say it again.
The first 10 Dolton residents that sign up for this, because it's very important, I will sponsor their fee.
Thank you very much. And again, my number.
So, I think this is one of the very good positive things that's happening in Dolton. Let me read this comment. Buying the Pope house is not going to make Dolton no better. All right. The lady is tied in with the trustees. She was at the shrimp boil in August with them. This lady's name is, I think, Alicia Russell. I think that her Envision, I think it's called Envision Unlimited. I think that their mental health program is something that is needed in the community. I think that's a great thing. If you all remember, I had a Dolton resident on this platform who was having a issue with a mentally um, challenged neighbor. I found it interesting that Trustee Belcher, you know, decided to sponsor 10 residents. And this resident that has the mental health illness that attacked the Dalton resident that we had on this platform lives behind her on this block. She actually put her campaign sign at this mentally alleged challenged resident's home. Even though that resident has been terrorizing the resident that we had on this platform for some years now. I find that very interesting. However, we do need mental health workers in the communities. Hopefully, the goal is to have these certified mental health workers work in conjunction with the police department so that when someone is having a mental health episode, they can be called upon if they're available to assist the police officers. Hopefully, they have some of the police officers attend this training because it is needed for them as well in order to be able to deal with the residents in their municipality. Oftentimes when I see people do those types of things where they volunteer to pay for someone, we are in an election year. I don't know. I don't know about, how I feel about that. But the mental health portion is definitely needed in Dolton. And that's a great thing that they have in the community. And they need to keep that at all costs in their community. Just an update on that resident that we had on the platform, the Dolton resident that we had on the platform, they recently had to file a restraining order against the next door neighbor that have been terrorizing them and their children. I'm talking about the next door, the neighbor, the Dolton resident that we had on, who had the neighbor that showed their naked body to the Dolton resident's child. She had to file a restraining order because she was attacked in the Dolton Food for Less by this neighbor. I did have the pleasure of supporting the Dolton resident at her court case, and was able to see her get her order granted. And so she does have an active order granted against the resident that has been terrorizing her, the one with Trustee Belcher's sign in her window. And all of these things have been public on social media. Thankfully, the Dolton resident has been documenting everything. This person has an active order of protection, and she threw something from out of her back door onto the Dolton resident's home, right onto her internet wires and everything. Still, disobeying the orders. She has other people. There are other residents driving down the street harassing the Dolton resident that we had on now. Now, how? There's a lot of mental health that needs to be addressed in this community. And so I'm glad that Avengers Unlimited can be in the community and helping them address these things. But they also need to make sure that some of the police officers, i.e. the people with white shirts, the chief, the commanders, all of them need to attend these trainings so that they are certified in how to deal with someone with a mental health, and that they begin to understand how to handle calls that involve mental health. Now, that's my personal opinion. That is the opinion of this platform and the super producer. That's my opinion. The police most definitely need it. Speaking of which, is Terry Young still around? He definitely is, and still has a white shirt, and still has not probably passed their sergeant test that he's supposed to pass, allegedly. The police need it badly. I believe that they do. There's a lot going on out in the community, now, with, just extra pressures on everyone. So people are dealing with a lot of mental health issues at this time. But anyway, that's my feeling about that.
And again, my number is 773-580-2394. You can send me a text message and I'll send you the information you need. Or you can email me at arussell@envisionunlimited.org. And I also have cards for people. Thank you, Trustee Belcher.
Also, I do want to say that, you know, your experience with someone may not be somebody else's experience with someone. They may give you a different version of themselves than they give someone else. So, you know, I always try to keep that in mind, you know, when people ask me my opinion on things, I just tell them I don't know that version of that person. That's not what I get. And I believe that everybody is entitled to have their opinion or speak their truth on what version of a person they get.
Anybody else?
Good evening, everyone. Mayor House, trustees, Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Eel Lewis, and I am with Sustainable Options for Urban Living. Our organization is actually a couple of doors down from here. We've been in the village for, what, 4 years now? And we provide sustainable options. So if any of you are homeowners, how many homeowners do I have? Okay. We have an income qualified program for solar on your home. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts about solar, a lot of feelings, but we have upcoming workshops to educate you on, number one, what it is, what it can do for your home from a health and safety perspective, as well as savings on your utility bills. This particular program is state sanctioned and income qualified. So I do have flyers with me. The income qualifications are on the flyer, but for this particular program, it is at no cost to you, the homeowner, if you are income qualified. So if you would like information, please see me after the meeting. I have flyers with me. You can sign up for the workshops. They are virtual. On January 22nd, January 29th, and February 5th. Like I said, they're virtual. So you can just log on, find out the information, find out how to get your assessment on your home and get your electric bills significantly reduced. I've had solar on my home since 2019, and I am happy to open my electric bill every month because it is usually zero or very close to it.
Oh, I
So,
need that. It,
yeah.
We got-
They are so this particular program is regulated by the state. It is administered by Elevate, formerly Elevate Energy. And my role in this is to get the information out to you, the homeowners. It depends on which program you came in under. This is the income qualified program.
is it possible that we can get a copy also of one of those flyers so we can put it in a resource hub?
Absolutely.
If we can't, Miss, because we're hitting the 3-minute mark, are you able to
Yeah.
give your contact information for follow-up?
Yes, you can text me at 773-230-7190. And if you send me your email address, I will send you a copy of this flyer. You can sign up for the workshops with the QR code.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I don't know how people feel about solar energy. Every time those people knock on my door, I never answer. They're like the Jehovah Witness for me over here because it always involves them running my credit and asking me for money. Always. She says that this one is a income based, I guess state paid for, since it's state regulated program. So if you're in Dalton, I mean, I would see what the income. I would at least go to the informational, since she's saying it's income based and you could potentially get solar panels for free. Because if it helps you with your energy bill, I think anything that can help you with your energy bill, you should look into. But just make sure that you know the ins and outs of it. Um, I'm weary of her saying that her bill is usually $0, because that could strictly be because she works for them or she refers people to them and she gets money taken off her bill. Um, when people leave out facts and different things, I ain't saying that she left anything out, but I know some people who have the solar panels, their bills are indeed smaller, but they're never zero. They never pay, like I would say they never pay in the 200s or anything of that nature. But they do, pay a bill, whether it's between 80 to 100 or $150. They're usually around that range, and it never changes. So I think there are definitely some benefits to the solar that people should look into. So if you're in Dalton, and you feel like you might qualify, or go to the informational. She said I think they have a 2 this month.
Okay. Anybody additional?
Good evening, Mayor, Trustee Board. I'm here to ask a couple of questions. I'm new in the community, but my question is to the attorney for the village. Mayor, we kind of went over a few little things what I'm going through. I did a little research on Public Information Act. I bought a home here, and the home is trashed. It's got water everywhere. We can't even live in the house right now. It's a total brand new rehab. I came down to get the information on the contractors that did the house. They submitted to your office a false document stating that they had insurance. I called the insurance company. They never heard of this company. So I don't know even know how they got a license here because it was never, I guess it was never verified. I haven't got no reports in regards to who did the inspection. Been asking for the inspection report, who was the inspector that inspected the house. Still haven't gotten it. Again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I need to know what we're going to do addressing to the attorney here, because this is a document, it's a legal document of insurance. And if the contractor didn't have insurance and he submitted a false document, would that be cause for an arrest?
Something like that would have to be brought to the police department for them to review and decide. If it's illegal to arrest somebody, that's completely up to the police department to look into. Just from what you're telling me, it seems more of a civil matter for them to be reported to either the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, they have a civil division, or the Illinois Attorney General. But as far as criminal, the first step you would have to meet with representatives with the Dolton Police Department, and they'd have to look into it.
But they submitted it to the village saying, I've got insurance. Here's my documents. That's like me coming here saying, I'm a doctor. I'm going to open up an office. I give you my insurance, but it's false.
No, what you're stating is it could be fraud,
Okay.
or false statement. That doesn't necessarily mean it's an arrest.
Now look at lawyers lawyering. Look at lawyers lawyering. That man know what he is talking about. First of all, let me say, hey, what's up, Aubrey? How are you? I hope you're doing good. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to you and Deb Hill. How are you on the replay? Okay. So the police are judge and jury again, no report. Listen, imagine you moving into a new community. Your first impression of the community is that your home is flooded and you cannot even live in it. Where is him and his family living right now if they can't live in their home that they purchased? Because some work was required to be done by the inspector. The work was done by a contractor that did not even have insurance because the insurance was not checked. So my question is, what are the procedures for contractors that come into the village? What are the procedures? Do they check? Should they check if the insurance policy that they give them is valid? In my opinion, they should check everything on this contractor that's coming in to do work. They should know if he has any complaints, any violations. They should check his licenses to make sure that they are up to date, his Secretary of State filing. They should make sure that his insurance, they should call the insurance company to verify the policy. If they give you a copy of a policy, there's a number on there. So you can just simply call, and there's a verification department that will verify if they have a valid active policy. And so when he asked the lawyer, well, they gave the village this legal document. Indeed, they did. And the village did not check to see if their insurance was valid. As a matter of fact, he said that when he called himself, he said the insurance company had never even heard of that business. So not the lawyer telling him, oh, that's a matter for the state's attorney. They got a civil division, or they have you could turn it into the Illinois Attorney General's office. Nope. He in the right place, because the village is liable because they accepted those documents. They allowed the contractor to do the work without even verifying if they had insurance, or possibly even if they had a valid contractor's license, allegedly. At this point, we don't know what checks were done and what were not. We do know one thing. We know the insurance check was not done. This could potentially end up being a lawsuit for the village that the village will end up footing, because he asked for the inspector's report. They will not even give him that. He said he couldn't even get a name of who inspected. Well, we all know that Brian Thigpen is in charge of inspections. Is he even certified? Do we know? Hopefully for the village, he will be up to date on his certifications, so that if this turns into some sort of litigation, it will be a minimal cost as to an exorbitant thing, right? Because imagine what this man could be awarded. Imagine what he could be awarded. Let me see what this comment says. They should be live. They should be live on some kind of way for not doing that due diligence. Whoever the code inspector was, all of them should be in trouble. I see a village. Yeah. The whole entire department, there should be checks and balances. These things have to be called. If they turn in paperwork to the clerk and the clerk don't call, the director of code inspections should do the calling. He should say, did anybody verify the insurance? If you didn't say, okay, I will, never mind. Just to cover themselves. But you have to say again, are the code inspectors that they have, are they certified? Do they have up-to-date certifications? Though these are all things that are going to be uncovered. And again, what will the village be liable for? This man said his entire home is flooded because the work was not done correctly and it was signed off on, and he purchased the home. So now all of this is falling on him. But where is his family living? What extra costs are they having to pay on top of a mortgage? Are they having to rent somewhere else because they cannot live in their home that they purchased? I don't know. But you're going to see these lawyers lawyering. I do know that.
You know, criminal offense. It could be more civil. So I would just go over to the police department when you can, possibly tomorrow, and meet with an officer and have them look into it. And if they have any questions, they could then ask me. But, you know, off the cuff, I don't have the authority to tell the police department to arrest someone.
But to the board, again,
Yeah.
I got a house
Mr.
here.
Lewis, we did hit the 3-minute mark on here. What I would ask, I know you've been working with the community liaison to get the report. So if you don't mind, you can go right there and he'll get the information so we can give you more follow-up.
Not they cut the man off. The man say again, I have a house here, and I think he was about to say that I can't even live in. Wow.
Because I came today and I got, everything I got is a blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be back.
Right.
Yeah. Right to the back. Yeah, I think you know those gentlemen. Yes, sir.
Wow. You get pushed to the back. I don't know how you talk to the mayor and you're still not able to have the inspection report on your home. You talked to the mayor and told the mayor that you brought a home. The home is uninhabitable, and the mayor still could not get you the papers that you needed. The who inspected the home? The mayor didn't care about who inspected the home or what. You know, I understand these people do not respond to social media and they don't care what is being said on social media, which would in turn lead them to not care to give somebody information about their home that would probably incriminate the village. But if you did something, why not just take responsibility for what happened? And, you know, maybe by doing that, you can avoid litigation by going straight into mediation and seeing how you can come to a resolution with the homeowner instead of paying the lawyers again to be in litigation. Meanwhile, a new resident of your community cannot even live in their home and you're fighting them about that. I don't know. You know, a lot of questions, you know, for me. Yeah, this is crazy. The village is definitely liable. Further incompetence. Maybe the state should just go ahead and absorb Dolton, install new people to control it, the board, everything. I mean, I don't, you know, at this point, I'm just asking questions. This is my view. This is my opinion. Right? If I talk to a mayor, I'm going to be wondering why the mayor can't produce me the papers that I asked for. Why do I have to go over here and talk to this person, or why I have to see this person, or why do I have to contact the police or contact this person, that person? Does this now become a matter of you don't care? I mean, if that's the case, then let me know. Then we just take care of things like we don't care. Then we just have lawyers involved and, you know, all of those things, you know, but, you know, my opinion is that the mayor should have contacted the code inspections department, produced the paperwork, and took accountability, whatever that looks like, and then proceeded to try to have a mediation, you know, by advising the resident, hey, maybe you want to get you a lawyer and we'll, you know, if we can do some mediation, then let's do some mediation. You know, let's come to an agreement on what we can you know, do to make this situation right. The administration is totally the administration is totally incompetent. I like the last administration better. They are definitely more entertaining, but this group is no better. They got their friends and with a good job now. I feel like it's the same It's the same situation, just different players. It's the same situation, different players. The previous players were just a bunch of thugs and street people, right? But the present players are more professional with their thuggery. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. That's my commentary. Okay? That's my commentary that, you know, they are just more professional with their thuggery. That's my opinion. So, did I miss somebody's comment? Okay, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody's comment. That is my opinion. But if you look at it at the base of it, they did exactly what Lil Stank said they wanted to do, which was hire their friends. That's what they did. Everybody that they hired are people that they know, are their friends, and that's what they did. They hired their friends and they put them to work, whether they were qualified or not qualified for the position or whatever may have you, whatever their resume was. And that everybody has what they want everybody accordingly, whether that with disrespect of not acknowledging or even wanting to do the duties of a public servant, which is to serve the public, right? Again, my confusion comes in to where the man asked for the inspection report because he cannot find none. He's actually been in contact with the community liaison and still has not received any papers. Why is it taking so long to get a report that's already written? Report is already written because the home has already been purchased, because it was passed through inspections. So the manifestation of the report, I'm not understanding why that can't be manifested. Should he place a formal FOI for it? Maybe he should place a formal FOI for it so that he can be able to then contact the Attorney General's office on the public access when it's not answered, while hiring a lawyer to write up a lawsuit. I don't know. Once you try to work things out amicably and you're constantly being told, oh, it's coming, oh, we're gonna get it, oh, how long do you wait? How long do you listen to that? I noticed he's a lot different now that he's sitting in the big chair. He came off as caring and sensitive to the needs of the people, but now that he's in the big seat, I see something different. All right. I have to go to class now. I have you in my ear as long as possible. Yes, ma'am. Do what you need to do. Get yours. Let's see. Eleanor. Hey, Eleanor Sweeney. I haven't seen you in a while. This administration is no better than Tiffany. Kiana got all her friends in the door just like Tiffany did. Hell, them damn Rutgers on Dolton and she on their payroll. Videos are on my platform of this comment. I did not say this comment, but there are videos on my platform that support it. That's all I have to say about that at the moment. Just know that there are more videos to come concerning Rucker because I have something to tell you about these buildings. That's very interesting. Has been very interesting researching these things. Less opposition with friends and family. Definitely. I'm not that type of family member or friend, but these people seem to be that. So that's correct. That would be a correct assumption. I had open hearts. Oh, Eleanor Sweeney. I need you to email me because I want to come see you. Thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry that I did not know that. Oh man, thank you. I'm so glad that you're well and you made it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you. Okay. But we are going to get into some more facts, and that's going to be a topic that's coming up because there's a public comment that's going to be made about that, Eleanor. So this may turn in. She has a very nasty attitude, and she's not going to win the 5th district. I mean, I've had my own experiences. I will say that. I think initially there is a very standoffish type of demeanor that I would say is not conducive to public service. Jason has truly changed a lot. A lot. Okay, child. This is what I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, so Dolton residents, I would say maybe possibly brace yourself for a lawsuit because this man is only going to wait so long. And if I was him, I would have already hired a lawyer with all of the runaround. I can't even get a simple report. And I've talked directly to the mayor. I've talked directly to the community liaison. I've actually done everything that they've asked me to do. And I still don't have the papers that I asked for or that are required for me to find out what happened and why my home is full of water and that I can't live there. So, I would say brace yourself for impact because there will be an impact from this because people are only going to wait so long. People are only going to listen to, oh, I'm coming. Oh, we're going to, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. They're not. And I would say to any Dolton resident that has an issue, you need to go to the meeting and put it on record. Putting it on record puts everyone on that dais on notice that this was a problem and that this is an issue so that no one person can say, I didn't know anything about that. When you go to a meeting and you make public comment and you put it on public record, it should be in the minutes and it's on these videos that you told them. And then you can see and go back and see what they told you. And then you can judge yourself accordingly to the announcements. Whatever you have to do after that is what you have to do. But you all need to start putting these things on record. If you are going to follow through and the follow through ends up going to court, you need to make sure that you have everything documented. He should have hired a lawyer the day he talked to Jason and didn't get answers. Amen to that. I agree with that. I actually would have hired a lawyer before that. Okay? I would have hired the lawyer when I showed up to move into my home and it was full of water. That's the day I would have hired a lawyer. Boom. Wouldn't have been none, and I still would have talked to the mayor, and I still would have talked to the community liaison, and I would have took my paper trail right back to my lawyer and say, I did. These are all the steps that I took with the village on my own. Now I'm gonna turn this over to you because the only thing I'm getting is I'm coming. We gonna make sure we take care of it. Those are the only things I'm getting. So you go ahead and you see what you can get. I agree with the last comment. You could see the game that Kiana and those guys were playing from a mile away. That's why she was so strong, on point, and she was upset because Tiffany double-crossed her. Now, that was my feeling, Mr. Aubrey. Definitely was my feeling. It was the constant comments about property, and those were the only ones that she really had comments about. Is about, that centered around property, and she would always put property related topics on the agenda too. And then there would be a big explosion. between them two. I think I showed that on my video too. If you haven't watched it, it is the Was Tiffany Right series. And you can look at all of those videos with more to come on my platform, because we're definitely going to dissect this because they want you to not talk about anything negative. We are also talking about positive things that are going on in Dalton. We talked about the mental health. That is a very positive thing that is going on. They do now have a police chief and I think an interim fire chief still. I don't know why the fire chief is interim, but that person is. We're going to talk about him as well. There's a few things that I would like to get out of my brain and discuss about that person. I'm still not understanding the police chief because you still have commanders and sergeants that didn't pass tests. Hopefully, they're going to pass them this year in white shirts. And people that had questionable conduct during the time that Tiffany was in office still in their positions. Why would you keep those people? Their conduct and their behavior was very unbecoming when she was in office. That wouldn't be nothing that I would want to take into my own administration. But that's my personal opinion. The question on the floor is, why would they still be there? If you keep them, you could have kept Keith Freeman. You could have kept DeMarcus Quigley. You could have, hell, you could have hired Michael Smith at that point. If you're going to keep those people, because they all were running together and doing the same thing. But that's my opinion. Okay. Jason has been a transformer since the beginning. If you watch him from all the videos from when he first got on the board till now, like I said before, Tiffany broke bad and ran off with the bag. I don't know that she ran off with the bag, but she did run off unscathed, right? She did run off unscathed. She is in College Park, Georgia. She opened up a clothing store. She is integrating herself into that community. I feel, this is my feeling, to make a run, either for mayor or, some other political seat. And it probably is going to be some sort of council person seat at first, because that's what she knows, right? She knows being a mayor, but she knows that she's in a new environment, and she knows she can't go straight for the seat. She's probably going to try to work her way in there, by that way. And them knowing some of her history, they're not going to just let her walk in the seat either. Word on the street is that clothing store Tiffany has opened up the first day, then a few weeks from there is stayed closed, haven't opened up since. That could be true. That could be true. She is that's a rough area. If you know Atlanta, College Park is she on Old National? That's a rough area. Very rough area. And she's trying to open up an upscale type boutique. Not at all something that area can handle and support, right? She would have been better off opening up the restaurant for her deity, which I think she said was called the Goat or something like that. She would have been better off doing that in that spot first, because that's what that area and that neighborhood can sustain, so that could be true. I mean, it is what it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Latoya Newman. I'm here on the behalf of Rucker Athletics. Just wanted to give the community an update on where we at. The pool has been repaired. We're just waiting on the state approval. So we looking to have our grand open.
So here's the first problem for me. Now the pool is repaired, which they didn't want to repair it when Tiffany was there. I just want you to follow these events and see if I have them mixed up or if I'm wrong. You could tell me if I'm wrong. That's fine. I have no problem with that. We can share opinions. So the pool is now fixed. The same pool that Tiffany wanted to get fixed, that they didn't want Tiffany to fix. They claiming that the pool got fixed by Rucker's money, but they took $375,000 and bought the Pope's home. They could have fixed the pool with the $375,000. Like I said, that $375,000 could have went to a lot of things. But anyhow, so now the pool is fixed. Now there's going to be a grand opening. Here's my question. How can there be a grand opening when this is a city-owned building? There was not one hearing, not one hearing. There should have been a public hearing about the Melanie Fitness Center. There should have been multiple hearings about the Melanie Fitness Center. There were no other businesses allowed to come and do a presentation about maybe possibly taking over the Melanie Fitness Center. Why was that? It's a public owned building. It's owned by the municipality and still is owned by the municipality. It's rented by Rucker Athletics. Okay, there's the first thing. So where were the hearings, the set of hearings that should have been had about the Melanie Fitness Center and who was going to be occupying the Melanie Fitness Center and who would be the best fit for the Melanie Fitness Center? Where were those hearings at? The Rucker Athletics actually opened the day after Thanksgiving. So that would mean that this person was already given the Melanie Fitness Center prior to the October Cal meeting, where they came and said they was going to be opening the day after Thanksgiving. Y'all following me so far? I don't see ain't nobody talking to me. Nobody talking to me in the comment. Y'all following me so far? So that person would have had to been given the keys to Melanie Fitness Center in order to do the renovations that they already did. Because if you check the village page, they did a toy giveaway at Rucker Athletics. It was all painted. It's been all painted and renovated and all of those things, right? And so how were they able to do this with no public hearings? No other businesses were allowed to express what they might want to transform the Melanie Fitness Center in and have a presentation to present to the residents, and the residents then get to weigh in on what they might, which one they might want to choose or what they thought might be best. Maybe it would have been best to still have a community center that said Melanie Fitness Center, or if they decided to change the name to something else, but definitely a dedicated community center, maybe. I'm just saying there were no hearings that did that. And the sign went up on the building in October. Wow, that was even before they came to the Cal meeting to say that they were going to be taking over the Melanie Fitness Center with no hearing. Somebody stop me when I'm wrong. What I'm saying is they had an agreement and Tiffany decided to do her own thing, and they left all the other people out in the cold. So that's why they were whining, complaining. Now they're in charge. Correct, Aubrey. I agree. If you watch my video, that's exactly that was exactly my thoughts. But just my thoughts. That's my opinion. That was my thoughts though. So, again, so now we're here and the pool is fixed. A pool that they was adamantly against getting fixed when Tiffany was in office, and she just wanted the pool fixed. So now the pool is fixed. Their friend has fixed the pool. Okay. Anyway. Rashad Ritchie dissertation. What's that? I mean, who is this? Sounds like they're doing a Tiffany Henry move. I mean, I'm just asking a question. Let's finish and see when the grand opening gonna be. I guess this the official opening because they've been open since the day after Thanksgiving.
Open in January 23rd at 1 o'clock.
I think that's a round of applause, isn't it? No? Pools repaired?
Yeah. So we'll be offering free registration in January for the community, well, for everyone. And for the seniors and for the community, it'd be 10% off for your monthly registration, your monthly membership. February, it'd be $1. We'll be offering yoga, swimming classes, personal training. And just come check us out.
Great.
Yeah, so January 23rd at 1 o'clock. Yes. Silver sneakers, yes. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay. Yes, we have applied for silver sneakers. Okay. Looking to see some of y'all faces.
Well, we want to say thank you for repairing that pool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks really good. We're just waiting for the state approval.
Well, thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate the update.
All righty. Thank you.
I gotta tell
Hold on,
Kelly
I
Miss
believe
City
we
I'm
have-
leaving them
I
now.
understand. We have one question.
Yeah, so all of those things. It says sounds like they doing a Tiffany Hillier move. So Tiffany was actually telling some truths and exposing of these things before coming to be. Exactly, Ernesto. I actually miss Tiffany because these guys are just as bad, if not worse. At least she was funny and entertaining. I can agree with that in some cases, Aubrey. I can agree.
Senior, I think 55 and up. I believe. 55 and up. I think. Let me double check. It's either 55 or 60. Yes.
Trustee Brown, you don't qualify either way.
I will get the information to you. Okay.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay.
Thank you.
But I
very much.
believe it's 55. If it's not, it may be 60, but yes. Okay. Okay. Make sure you come out January 23rd, 1 o'clock. Okay. $0 to register. Okay.
All right.
All righty.
Thanks. Okay. It looks like that will conclude our public comments portion of this agenda. Next, I'm going to ask the board if we're all right. We want to do a quick shift to the first item on new business for Trustee Stan Brown, who spearheaded the Protect the Star initiative.
I also want to do a side note here. Let me make sure, because I also want to just make sure of something. So what I'm on the Village of Dolton's website right now, trying to again, like I said before. So last night's meeting was January the 5th. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the agenda was posted on here because it hadn't been being posted, but it is on here for yesterday. All right. I just wanted to make sure that that was posted. It is posted, the agenda.
I'm going to yield the floor to Trustee Stan.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Turn your mic on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to share one of the blessings that this village has been blessed with. At this time, we were blessed to have a gentleman to come here by the name of Jerry
Jeffrey Chapman, and it's more than a pleasure. So we got that blessing. So I just like to share that blessing with each and everyone else. I had the opportunity to sit down with Chief Chapman and just ask, what is it that we as the village can help assist him in getting the job done? And he just went through a few little things, and the man is so professional. You know, I had to pull my dictionary out as he talked to me so I can look up these words he was telling me. I'm like, okay, oh, that means that, okay. So I appreciate that professionalism that Chief Chapman has. And he just said, you know, he cares so much about his officers. So he just said if they have equipment, but he want to get it updated. And so I left the station and I hurried up and ran back to the church. Any police officers in there? Because I ran about 2 stop signs getting back to the church. So I got back to the church and I had a chance to talk with Pastor William H. Fleshman and told him the concern that the chief said they basically need some update body armor, which is called bulletproof vest. So we had a good conversation, and I said we had to come up with something so we can help assist these officers, because we do need our officers because they're there when we need them. So we want to show them that we're here when they need us. So we did get a collection going, and we had business up and down Sibley contribute. We had residents contribute. We had our board contribute. Everybody just poured in, and we was able to come up with about 20 body armor vests. So what I would like to do, I'd like to yield it over to Pastor Fleshman to do the presentation, and he can just carry the ball from here. He's an ex-football player, so I know you know how to carry the down. You got to take this. No, he took this one. Because Stan broke it.
Justin. Yeah, I didn't know when you turned 55, you're a senior. That just blew my mind, sister. But yeah, please do, because you just crushed me, I'm telling you. But I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Of course, thank you, Mayor. Thank you to all the trustees, clerk, for this opportunity to even stand before you guys. As Stan said, he came to me with a need. And he had just left Chief's office, and he spoke about 21 officers needing body armor. It didn't take long to make up my mind and say we have to do something. Patrick and Tiffany had held a business event at St. Patrick's. And so on that particular day, I was able to ask for businesses to contribute as well. And thank God we had actually 2 other businesses that contributed. And we do have plaques for them. They're not here today. They're not here today, but I would like to at least read these plaques. It says 2025 Protect the Star Award in honor of the Lux Inn and Suites. So through your contributions, bulletproof vests were provided to the officers of the Dolton Police Department, reinforcing the bond between law enforcement and the community they serve. And so I'm gonna leave this with you, Mayor, so we can make sure that the Lux receives that award. We also have another award. This one, and they went based on contributions. This one was a little smaller, but this is another business that contributed, and it's a Protect the Star Award presented to the Citgo Mini Mart. Thank you for your contributions 2025. And I think it's important that businesses contribute to whatever this village is doing, because they're the ones that's taking the money out of the village. And so we need them to partner with us on more opportunities. This plaque is for, and the owners of St. Patrick's are here. I want to ask them if they would come up. Y'all come up here real quick. I know y'all don't want to come up, but please just come up real quick. These are some hard-working folks, you are. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way I would want to be the owner of St. Patrick's Restaurant, because they get no breaks. I mean, it's like all go, no gas. But I want to, it says 2025 Protect the Star Award in honor of St. Patrick's Steakhouse. Through your contributions.
Now, this is interesting to me. And let me read these comments first, and then we're going to get into what's interesting to me. Let's see. Somebody says someone get Tiffany on the line or schedule for an exclusive pulling the cover off this show. They need to clean house from the mayor on down and get rid of the board. They're there when you need them, you don't say? Y'all hilarious. So let me tell you what I find interesting. At one point, St. Patrick's was the focal point and a very hotbed topic in the village, because there was controversy over whether the building was indeed safe, and I don't think that those things have been dispelled. There still has not been proof put out that that building was inspected and it's safe, in my opinion. And there seems to be a lot of rallying around the St. Patrick's while avoiding the conversation that needed to be had of, in my opinion, the St. Patrick's needed to apologize to the community. For one, not coming to the meeting and letting them know, hey, this is what's going on. You know, we're not with Tiffany. She's the mayor, and we're just trying to get our business up and running, or, you know, whatever that may be. And she said that she would help us. We apologize if that offended the community and that we didn't do something correctly. And, you know, how can we correct that? Right? I think in a lot of these situations, accountability has been skipped because we don't want to talk about these things. We don't want to have conversations about them. Oh, just, you know, we're moving on. Okay, well, go ahead and move on, because anything that you don't address will pop up later. So move on and then have to address it later anyway. I think that because this building needs to generate revenue for the village in the form of business, you know, taxes and those things, right? It's crucial that they succeed. But it is also crucial that they be honest, truthful, and straightforward with the residents, right? Because if you want your business to be patronized, it's going to be patronized by the people that live in the city from which you have your business. You know, this is, I'm sure, a very difficult topic. A lot of the people that I saw fighting against this business, Mary Avant, is now quiet. She was really fighting this business hard because it's right across the street from her home, and it is had actually been built to different specifications, so it now impedes her view and other people that live close to her view of the community. So, you know, that building is in their eyesight or view. And they had owned one liquor store in Dolton, and they put another liquor store in the bottom of this restaurant. When are we going to stop enabling our community with these codependency things? You don't need to open up a liquor store to have your place of business be appealing to the community. In my opinion, and this was stated, I felt like they should have opened up a nice internet cafe in that spot. You know, it'd been a nice place that this sold, you know, sort of like a Starbucks S type building, you know, where people could come and have little business meetings, you know, impromptu business meetings. It has Wi-Fi. You can have your latte. You can have, you know, a little sandwich, you know, a little cake, or, you know, a little croissant or something of that nature. Black owned baristas, and something of that nature. We do not always need a liquor store in our community. If we are wanting our community to look better, cleaner, represent something different, why do we think that that includes a liquor store on every corner? We need a clean house ASAP. Jason is phony, has a $3 bill, and Kiana is a snake. Wow, in my opinion. Right? So I'm just, I'm wondering why we think that those are the go-to businesses. Oh, let me open up a restaurant and a liquor store because that's what they do. No, open up the community to different things. Have something different. I don't disagree with the restaurant, but I don't know, over time, is it going to make the amount of money that they needed to make? They spent over, I would say maybe $6 million or, at least $1 million getting the building together. They would have to make that back in revenue plus some to even come out on top. And when I went there, my personal experience at St. Patrick's, I was not even served because the night that I went, they didn't have enough servers. And I haven't really been back since. I also thought that it was a lot of money. $30 was a lot of money for Rasta pasta. I can make Rasta pasta at home for less than $30. So I'm not sure that I would pay that going, to go there. Also, they had like the jerk wings were like $25. I could make those at home. When I went, they didn't have any steaks, but they are a steakhouse. So, there's that. Hopefully they have gotten all of these issues corrected, and everything. And I hope that, this business generates what they needed to generate. But, again, Dolton could have benefited from an internet cafe. That's a nice building. The side that the liquor store is on, that would have been an exceptional barista internet cafe moment. There would have been a lot of business deals, business meetings, being able to be had right there. It's right off of the Bishop Ford, definitely accessible to the expressway between Chicago and the south suburbs. But that's my opinion. But now everybody's getting awards, which is surprising to me, but it is what it is.
Bulletproof vests were provided to the officers of the Dolton Police Department, reinforcing the bond between law enforcement and the community they serve. And so we want to say thank you and present this to you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. And then I want to ask, there are some members here from Abundant Living. There's a couple of members. Can you just stand real quickly, those members that are here from Abundant Living? It's 2 plus Deacon Stan. But I asked them to stand because the church contributed.
I also noticed that they didn't interrupt him and tell him that his 3 minutes was up, but maybe this was a special presentation situation.
As well. And we've been in existence for 17 years now. And for 17 years, I have decided not to take a salary. One of the reasons why I do not take a salary from the church is so that we can continue community efforts like this. That way we're not struggling to pay the pastor and take care of the pastor. No, we want to take care of community. And so when we get in front, when we push an effort, trust me, it's not about politics. It's about ministry. Okay. So I just want to say thank you again, Chief. Thank you. This is a continuing, ongoing effort. This will not stop. If they need bicycles in the summer, guess what? We're going to get bicycles in the summer. Whatever it is that they need, Mayor, we're going to continue this Protect the Star effort. So again, thank you guys so much. Man, this guy here is my favorite guy in the whole wide world, man. Deacon, Trustee, Chairman Stanley Brown. Thank you for all your efforts, man. Love you dearly. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Can we give them one more round of applause for the efforts together?
And I actually like Pastor Flashman. He is a very nice man. I don't know what type of pastor he is because I've never been to his church. But I actually like him. He has good intentions, and I'm glad that he has decided to provide equipment. I hope that he extends that to the firefighters as well. If they need anything, I hope that he protects them and protects, the community as a whole. So I hope that he also extends this program to the firefighters that may need things as well. So I hope that happens. I'm not sure that it will, but I hope that it does. But I know that he has good intentions for the community of Dolton. So I hope that he continues to help and maybe, steer some of the decisions in a good way.
I would like to highlight, take a little bit more time to expand on the efforts done. Trustee Stan Brown, I've had the privilege of knowing, I would say almost 15, 16 years now, maybe. And so over the many years that we've had the privilege of crossing paths, we've had many successes, some disagreements. At all times, Trustee Stan has been there showing up for the residents, and he's always said that every effort is towards that end. So I do want to say thank you very much for taking the initiative on this as well. I don't know if any other board members had comments at this time.
Stan Brown, we just love him. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause.
And Mayor, just in regards to the.
So now they love Stan Brown. Now, I love Stan Brown. He's so funny. He is very funny. He reminds me of the Green Hornet. If you know the Green Hornet, then you're as old as me. But now they love Stan Brown. I don't know. Let me see what this comment say. And just plain honesty, being from Waukegan, North Chicago area, and enlightened to political corruption way back in the 80s. But it's so disheartening to see our communities being reduced to this. Man, that's a loaded statement, but here we are. But now they love Stan Brown. We're going to put that on the record.
Businesses, as he stated, we are all a team, so we truly appreciate all the efforts. And to St. Patrick's, that is one of my favorite places. Okay, they know how to make a mean steak, guys. So go ahead and visit them in our very own village. So we thank you all again, and we appreciate all the businesses, and of course, Trustee Brown. Thanks again.
So I will say I kind of strong-armed Patrick for the steakhouse so he has a deal that I'm forcing on them. If you buy 10 steaks, the 11th one is free.
Okay.
That's our deal. Okay. All right, you got it on tape. All right. Any other comments at this time? If I hear none, I'm going to resume back to the original portion on the agenda for general announcements. Any announcements at this time?
May I be recognized?
Trustee Belcher.
First, let me say good evening and Happy New Year to everybody. I didn't even know that our mayor was Superman, so he came in here and changed some clothes so fast. But I do want to say, just be mindful of your surroundings. I said it in December when we talked about it was the Christmas holidays. Gentleman just came up about the lighting on Sibley, but it's dark outside and it gets dark very early. So even today I seen the postal person trying to, with a flashlight on her head, trying to deliver mail. So just be aware of your surroundings. Thank you, Chief Chapman, for making sure you're keeping us abreast of things that's going on in the community. We definitely appreciate that. And the resource hub, I know Ms. Russell got up and spoke about the mental health, but we want to make sure that we are definitely continuing on with the resource hub and bringing resources to the community that we can provide free of charge or admit.
All right, I'm going to pause this right now because they're going to go into doing regular business. So what they did was they did the electronic warrant list. They had the announcements, they went into electronic warrant list. That's all, regular things. Trustee Belcher had some things taken off that they didn't want paid. There was a $4,000 bill by some company that they didn't want paid. Now let's get into what the executive session was about, because they went into executive session and they came back and you could not hear the video from could not hear the video. There was no audio on the video. I'm gonna play if I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna talk about something first. Let me share this screen. All right. So you have a screen before you. Let me enlarge this so you can see. All right. So they went into executive session to talk about the settlement in authority for Jeffrey DeVries versus the Village of Dolton for JTS Towing, which you all know that is the lady Cheryl Scrantz's towing company. Why would they be giving her a settlement? And then George's Towing Inc. What I do plan on doing is taking a trip to Mark, and I will get all of these lawsuits printed out, and we will read them. We'll take a look at them. There was also a settlement for an Adonis Alford. I don't know about the Adonis Alford. I don't know what that one was for. JTS and George's Towing. The Village of Dolton wanted to get out of their contracts with them because they were brought on by Tiffany. And they were trying to figure out if there was a breach of contract and all of those things. So that's the towing company. Jeffrey DeVries, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at that lawsuit right here. That is that lawsuit. You see, there's his name right there. Okay. And it was the village. He brought it against the Village of Dolton and an Illinois Municipal Corporation, Tiffany Henyard, Village of Dolton Board of Fire and Police Commissioners, Devontae Stewart, and Lewis Lacey. Okay, so let's get into, we're just going to go straight to what the lawsuit was about. This particular gentleman lived in Indiana. He was a resident of Lake County. And hold on one second, let me get down to where it is. I don't have to read all that, because it's just listing the people's names that he had a complaint against. All right, so here you go right here. DeVries is and at all times complained of was an employee of the Village of Dolton as defined and codified in 740 ILCS 174/5 and a duly appointed peace officer. The village is and at all times complained of was an Illinois Municipal Corporation and DeVries' employer as defined and codified. Henyard is and at all times was the mayor and defined and codified. All right. At that time, Devontae Stewart was an employee of the Village of Dolton, the chairman of the BFPC, and Lacey, we know, was the chief at that time. Okay. Lord. The Board of Fire and Police Commissioners rule and regulations apply to the governance and control and administration of original appointments, promotions, and hearings for the members of the fire department and police department of the Village of Dolton. The BFPC is required to be constituted of 3 commissioners, including a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and a secretary. The 3 commissioners constitute a quorum for the board to conduct business. This goes through their rules and procedures. Now let's get into what happened. On November the 2nd, 2023, Stewart posted a final eligibility list for promotion to rank of sergeant of police. Exhibit 1, DeVries ranked first on the list with a score of 72.9%. Marissa Curry was second with a score of 70.5%. followed by Vincent Nunez at 65.44%, and Terry Young at 64.82%, and Michael at 64.68%. The list included chief merit points in calculating eligibility. DeVries received 2 merit points, or 40% of the total possible. Curry received 5 merit points. Nunez received 5 merit points. Young received 5 merit points, and Googly received 4 merit points. The list was not created pursuant to publicly held meeting of the BFPC, nor was it voted on by a quorum of commissioners of BFPC. The list was simply created by Stewart without lawful authority. My first question is, if DeVries came in first, how was it that he only got 2 points? He should have been the person with the most points because he got the highest score. Lord child. Stewart was the only member of the BFPC to sign the final eligibility list, and upon information and belief, the only commissioner appointed to the BFPC at the time. Stewart posted the list in the police department. Nunez, Young, and Googly not scores above 70, which did not pass the examination process pursuant to Chapter 3. Lord, just fix it. All right, who house we at today? What in the world? And then it says on November the 6th, 2023, DeVries sent an email to Stewart explaining that the final eligibility list appeared to include individuals who did not qualify to appear on the list, and that it violated the law to include those individuals on the list. Stewart did not respond, and Commander Eric Price ordered DeVries not to contact Stewart. Child, I got a story about Mr. Devontae Stewart that I'm going to tell y'all. But if we go back to the rules, so let's look at the scores. DeVries had 72.9% and Marissa Curry at 70.5%. Those should have been the only 2 people on the list because they the only 2 people that passed. Now tell me, am I right? Okay, thank you. And so they should have been the only 2 people on the list. Now this is crazy. Then Commander Eric Price had a nerve to tell this man not to contact Devontae Stewart when he know what he know about the list and the eligibility and what the rules are. If the village of Hinyard desired to promote someone to the rank of sergeant of police, the village's board of trustees must vote to approve such promotions. So you mean to tell me that they actually voted to approve Terry Young as a sergeant, knowing that he did not pass the test because Devontae Stewart posted a list? I wonder who friends with Devontae Stewart. Y'all go over there and find out. You'll know if you go and look and just look around. Okay? The Illinois Open Meetings Act requires that an item of business such as voting to promote individuals to the rank of sergeant be posted on an agenda at least 48 hours in advance of the meeting where the vote of the Board of Trustees would occur. On January 2nd, 2024, the village in Hinyard promoted Curry, Nunez, Young, and Googly, the 4 people. Well, Curry, she passed. Let me see. Did they put her? We go back and make sure. Yep, Curry, she passed. So they was right over. They was okay with that one. Curry, she passed. But Nunez, Young, and Googly, they all failed. They should not have been promoted. Make that make sense. Okay? At the time, there were still 6 vacancies at the rank of sergeant. The village's board of trustees did not vote to approve the promotions and was not given an opportunity to vote to approve the promotions from the final eligibility list as the law requires. Hinyard simply issued an oath of office to Curry, Nunez, Young, and Googly, and they sat by while she did that. Oh, I would have shut the whole meeting down. She wouldn't have been able to do nothing because I would have walked out of that entire meeting. So I'm not going to say that the trustees don't hold any weight in this situation because they should have shut that meeting down when she tried to swear them in. If they leave, it's no quorum, it's no meeting, so you are not sworn in. But anyway, that was the lawsuit. So this was a lawsuit that probably was settled against the village. Now the question going to be is, what was the settlement? What was the settlement? Not they changed the scores. Child, I'm dead. Look what they did. They changed the scores. Right here it says the revised final scores were Curry 90, Nunez 84, Googlia 83, Young 83, and Devers 83. But he was the lowest, 83. Lord have mercy. I would have been pissed. I would have sued too. But anywho, so I will go to the courthouse and find out once this is filed. Why do I see Belcher's name in here? Devers was asked the following questions. Did you have any conversation with Trustee Belcher regarding the sergeant's promotion list? Have you met with Trustee Belcher on any other occasion? Did you submit a complaint against the Dolton Police Department to the Illinois Law Enforcement Training Standards Board? Devers answered in the affirmative that he had filed an anonymous complaint with the IELTSB. Oh, Jesus. On February 28th, Inspector Baker notified Devers that allegations against him were sustained and a recommendation will be forwarded to Lewis Lacey for approval. Lord, they fired this man because he filed a complaint, which he had every right to do. So there is that. That was the lawsuit, one of the lawsuits that they talked about in closed session. I told you about the other lawsuits. I can't believe I stopped sharing that. That was not what I meant to do. Here it is right here. So that was the lawsuit. Let's see what. Hi, everyone. Hey, Paul. In January 2024, when Tiffany was swearing in the new sergeants and police dog, not the police dog, she kept the public outdoors so they could not make public comment. Man, they needed to have left this meeting. This would have been the meeting that they should have left no quorum because, again, people were sworn in. They should not have let that happen. But you know, again, I don't know. With the new chief, Terry Young is still wearing a white shirt. So if the new chief have read this lawsuit and knows about this lawsuit, and I'm sure he's had ample time to look through everybody's police file, their employee files. So he should have, done something about it by now. But anyway, nothing was done. So last night they came back from executive session. So let me show you what happened. Hold on, let me turn the sound on. Okay, the sound is on. When they came back from executive session, I'll show you. They stayed in the executive session a long time. There's no sound. I'm gonna get to. They stayed in the executive session a very long time. When I looked up back, see that? And it's no volume. He reading and we can't hear nothing. Right there. See this? When they came back, he was reading. I don't know what he was reading. They came back from executive session. There was no sound. You could not hear anything. Hey, Renee, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was absolutely no sound. You see it? No sound. People talking, no sound. If you go to the Facebook website, this part live is not there because like I told you, we were on YouTube. They deleted this whole entire live. When they came back with this executive session and there was no sound. And that's what happened last night. Okay. There's one other thing that I want to show you. I showed you that lawsuit. There's a couple of other things that we are going to get into in for this week because I'm about to end this live. We are about to be official. Thank you all for tuning in. Like and subscribe. I'm going to get more professional. I'm going to play me a commercial. I'm going to take me a commercial break. Make a commercial. Hold on. I'm looking for something. Looking for something. All right. So yeah, and the first thing I'm just going to show you, be very brief. All right. So what you have before you is Kim Austin's employee file from Dolton. Says she was a part-time code enforcement officer. She only made $15 an hour and she was non-union, but she was part-time. There's interesting things in this packet here. I'm telling you one thing. She hurt herself a lot at work. Okay. She had several workman comp injuries, I guess, in here, which cracked me up, especially the case of some things and how they happen. Now this was interesting to me. Look at this letter. We're gonna get into this. Okay, this was a letter. It says, "Dear Miss Alston," and this letter was sent to her by Dorothy Brown. Because if you all remember, at the beginning of Tiffany Henyer's tenure, Dorothy Brown was her village administrator, I think the village administrator. And so Dorothy Brown wrote Kim Austin this letter. It says, "This is to formally notify you that your name was provided as a witness for an investigation that has been opened into a complaint against Samisha Williams." Samisha Williams is the current chief of staff for Jason House. By Miss April McEwen regarding an incident that occurred on July 28, 2021. In order for us to fully investigate this matter, you will need to provide a witness statement as to the alleged incident in the complaint. I will schedule a meeting with you concerning the investigation that you can provide your statement. If you have any questions, you may reach me at, and this was Dorothy Brown's, number at the Village Hall. This is interesting. There was a complaint lodged against Samisha Williams, who is the current chief of staff for Jason House, by Miss April McEwen. I wonder what that was all about. But anywho, that's all I got for y'all today. We will dive into that. We're going to dive into some other things. We are going to dive into some other things. On one sec. We're going to dive into some other things. Look for Rucker another Rucker talk. We need to talk about this. We need to get this information out so that you guys are really aware of the entire situation and what is transpiring. Okay. And so we have that to do. We have a talk on the fire chief. We will have a talk on the police chief. We will be attending the next Dolton meeting in person. So you'll see me in person at the next Dolton meeting. And we're going to see what transpires. But listen, Super Producer wishes nothing but blessings for your life. To the replay people, please like, share, comment, all of those things. I hope that you all have a blessed day tomorrow and the rest of your week. Please leave me a comment, send me an email, support this channel. The ways to give are on my page. It is Cash App, $ all in the queue. There's a picture of Lori Lightfoot there. That's me. But you all, listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. Get your dinner and watch your shows. Relax and enjoy yourself. Thank you, as always, for supporting me and just listening to what I had to say. And I thank you guys for your support. Keith tried to tell y'all, not Keith Price or Keith Freeman, but Keith Sweat, when he told y'all something just ain't right. I'm done with you, Ernesto. That's hilarious. Y'all have a good evening, okay? Thank y'all so much for tuning in.